Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another BVI Market Connect 2.0. We're so happy to have you with us for today's session as we continue this exciting series focused on strengthening our global partnerships and expanding the reach of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Today's edition highlights two of our key markets, North America and the Caribbean, particularly Puerto Rico. And we're thrilled to feature presentations from members of our North American Business Development team, Perla George and Shonda Maduro, as well from our Puerto Rico consultant, Alex Campo of PR Links. We're also honored to have with us a fantastic panel of BVI partners who will share their perspectives and experiences in working with these markets. Sharon Flax Brutus from Virgin Gorda Villa Rentals, Nancy Williams from Scrub Island Resort Spa and Marina, and Julian Johnson from Island Time. Together, we'll explore new ways to strengthen our connections, enhance collaboration, and continue attracting visitors from these important source markets. So once again, thank you all for joining us. Let's dive right in and make today's BVI Market Connect 2 another inspiring and productive session. Take it away.
Welcome, everyone.
Yes.
Sorry. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you guys join us to our second series of working with our travel advisors and tour operators. I am Perla George, as she said, and I work with the North America market. Been here for almost 30 plus years. And today our focus is working with travel advisors and tour operators, supporting the BVI industry stakeholders. And why we are here. Travel advisors and tour operators are key gateways to our visitors. They influence booking decisions, promote our brand, and drive higher value travelers. Today, we will explore how you can work more effectively with them. As you can see from the graph, traveler, they go to a travel advisor, then the advisors go to the tour operator on the traveler behalf, and they end up in destination BVI. And what travel advisors and tour operators do. Tour operators, advisors, personalized service, strong client trust, luxury and niche focus. A tour operator package, promote, and distribute BVI products globally. Benefits to BVI businesses. They expand reach in key markets where we cannot get to, especially if we don't have the budget. Increase bookings and repeat visitors. They do a stronger brand credibility through trusted partnerships. How to build strong relationships. Keep content current. Example, your rates, photos, and your contacts. Offer commissionable rates. Participates in BVI Tourist Board-led roadshows, FAMs, and webinars. Respond quickly and follow up consistently. Role of the BVI Tourist Board support. We provide global marketing and representation on your behalf. We connect stakeholders to travel advisors network. We lead training, webinars, and trade partnership. Support visibility in markets like our US, Canada, and the Caribbean. And our core source markets, as you can see, is the US, Canada, Caribbean, and Puerto Rico. And now today we're going to meet our moderator, which is Shonda Maduro, and our panel, who we already introduced, Alex Campos, Sharon Flax Brutus, Nancy Williams, and Julian Johnson. And now my colleague Shonda will take over to moderate our panel.
Thank you, Perla. Good morning. You guys can hear me okay? Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So as Perla mentioned, travel advisors and tour operators are key gateways to our visitors. And we have with us today, as she mentioned, such a great panelist that can share their insights and their experiences. I know their bios were provided in the registration, but some of us may have overlooked it. So I'll give just a little snippet of each of us. So myself, again, I am Shonda Maduro, and I have actually served as the business development manager for the Northeast region of the BVI Tourist Board for over 10 years. I actually just had my 10-year anniversary not too long ago. I'm deeply committed to showcasing the beauty and unique offerings of my homeland. And my passion, believe it or not, it actually stemmed, my tourism passion actually stemmed from my family's long-standing involvement in the industry. And in terms of the panelists, we've got Alice Campos, who is with PR Links. He's the account director. And Alex's passion for the BVI actually began at a tender age of 12 when he first sailed through the Sir Francis Drake Channel on a charter, an experience that ignited his dream of working for the destination. And voila, in 2024, he turned his lifelong dream into reality by joining the BVI Tourism Office in Puerto Rico. Then we've got Nancy, Director of Sales at Scrub Island Resort Spa and Marina. And over 9 years ago, Nancy joined Scrub Island Resort, where she continues to oversee retail, wholesale, and group markets. Partnering with the BVI Tourist Board has been a vital part of her sales and marketing efforts, and she greatly values the support the team has provided to Scrub Island across all market segments. Sharon Flax Brutus, Director of Operations at Virgin Gorda Villa Rentals and one of our former director of the BVI Tourist Board. She has over 30 years of experience in the hospitality and tourism industry, spanning multiple sectors. She is the managing partner of Virgin Gorda Villa Rentals, overseeing a portfolio of more than 35 properties, the owner of White Oleander Destination, and the executive chairperson of the BVI Yachting, Hotel, and Tourism Association. And then, last but not least, we have Julian Johnson, who is the owner and CEO at Island Time. In 2016, Julian acquired Island Time Powerboat Rentals and Charters. Since then, the company has expanded to include water taxis, car rentals, adventure tours, and a private member boat club, and now employs more than 20 people. He has served 2 terms on the BVI Tourist Board and is a current member of the BVI Marine Association. So that's a little snippet of the panelist. And so let's generate some good dialogue on working with travel advisors and tour operators. And to ensure we cover some key points, I'll ask the panelists some questions, and save all your questions because we'll do them after. We'll have a nice Q&A after we have concluded. So the first question, and the meat of why we're here, why travel advisors and tour operators matter. So for the panelists, from your viewpoint, why are travel advisors and tour operators so critical to the success of your business and the BVI overall? And Alex, I'll let you start.
Thank you, Shonda. I mean, can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, thank you for inviting us, and thank you everyone that has come today. I think that travel agents and tour operators, and they are those that are able to convince people to explore new territories, to go to a new destination. In the case of Puerto Rico, it's very easy. Puerto Ricans, a lot of them have traveled to the BVI by private boats. So a lot of them already go, and those are the most loyal fans, and we all know them. Those are the PR Navy, the ones that come to the Christmas in July, and year after year, they visit your marinas, they go to restaurants. But tour operators are the ones that are bringing in new fans. They are the ones that are helping, like by advising people to get on cruises that will stop by the BVI. That's an easy sell for them because cruise ships are easier to sell. But they are also the ones that are packaging a whole trip to explore the BVIs, doing a 1 week itinerary, doing a getaway, a family trip for Puerto Ricans and they are like trustworthy people for those clients, for those people that are willing to explore a destination that it's just half an hour away for them. No, so I think that if we are able to tap and convince travel agents to make the BVI a destination of their interest, whether through trade deals, through agreements, through co-promotion, and a lot of things that we might be able to explore later down the road, I think that they are one of our greatest tools to support the market.
Awesome. Sharon, same question. From your viewpoint, why are travel advisors and tour operators so critical to the success of your business and the BVI overall?
Good afternoon, everyone. Just saying hi. So nice to see smiling faces and to see so many on the call. Shauna, as it relates to tour operators and travel advisors, at least in my business, I tend to see them as some of the ambassadors, not only for BVI, but for Virgin Villa Rentals as well. Ideally, the tour operators and the travel agents, especially if it is that they're well versed, or at least if they have one or two persons in their offices who've gone through the BVI specialist program, they're able to speak, for lack of a better word, intelligently about the destination and about the product. I think it's important to work with the advisors and the tour operators as well, because some of them have more of a reach in terms of reaching the clients than some of us are able to, whether from a financial standpoint or even just being able to visit the market. So for me, that piece of it is very important. The ones that we work with, at least they tend to have high visibility, high social media presence, and even the way in which they communicate via their email blasts, etc., to clients. So yes, I feel that they're an integral part of what I say is the tourism food chain.
Wonderful. Thank you. Nancy, you're next. From your viewpoint, why are travel advisors and tour operators so critical to the success of your business and the BVI overall?
Well, I think a lot of consumers who maybe hear about the BVI are not familiar with how to get to the destination or really a lot of information about the BVI. They might have been to the U.S. Virgin Islands and think it's, a similar type of destination. But there's, as far as working with the wholesalers, I do the product training on a very regular basis so that if a travel agent goes to their favorite wholesale partner, they know they can purchase a package, which is air inclusive. And also, travel agents no longer get a 10% commission from booking the flights for their clients. So if they book a package with a wholesaler, they're getting their 10% commission on the whole package. So there's a big incentive there. And one of the really key points with working with wholesalers is to give them seasonal promotions. And the best promotions I've done, as far as with the Big Five, and when I say the Big Five, I mean Classic Vacations, American Airlines Vacations, Island Destinations, Pleasant Holidays, and Ultimate Jet Vacations. I always give them an early booking bonus, which has really generated a lot of business, as well as seasonal. So yeah, they've been a really key part of my business when we separated from Marriott. Because when we were a Marriott autograph collection hotel, it was very difficult to work with the wholesale partners. But now that we're independent, it was about a year of onboarding, really, with the wholesale market, but now they're finally producing. And it's been a really good source of a new revenue stream for us.
Thank you. And Julian, from your viewpoint, why are travel advisors and tour operators so critical to the success of your business and the BVI overall? Are you muted? Calling Julian Johnson.
I was muted.
Okay, there you go.
That's probably going to happen a few times today, so bear with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that, I mean, if we had this discussion maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I would have probably said that we don't do a lot of work with travel advisors. And my thinking back then was perhaps because it's so easy to do everything online, flights, hotels, cars, all there, you know, on your phone, that maybe the whole travel agent, travel advisor thing is kind of a dying thing. But that has changed over the past few years. We're getting more and more requests coming through travel agents. I don't know why that is. Maybe people are they're just so busy and think that they just want to, this is what I want to do, make it happen kind of thing. So I think in that respect, they obviously add tremendous value for people that want a vacation. Perhaps the clientele that we're trying to attract, you know, wealthier people, business owners, and so on, that simply don't have time to put all the pieces together, particularly for a destination like the BVI, where it's not necessarily, you know, just one click of a button to get here. So in that respect, they add tremendous value. The agents that we deal with, I can't say for certain if they are actively selling the BVI or if they're just responding to, hey, I want to go to the BVI, can you figure it out for me? But certainly pulling all the pieces together and saving the clients that headache is certainly where I think they add tremendous value.
And Julia, now that you're getting more from when you initially started, or from 6 years ago, as you mentioned, now that you're getting more contact from travel advisors and perhaps tour operators as well, are you doing anything to build and maintain those relationships?
So one of the biggest things that we've struggled is a strong word, but one of the things that we've had to figure out, and we're still figuring out, is the whole commission structure. Whether or not there is an anticipation or expectation from travel agents that we pay commissions. Some outright ask for it.
Yes.
Not all of our pricing is structured where we can afford a 10% commission. We do in those cases, we do ask the travel advisors if they can add on their commission on top of our pricing, and we figure out how we pay them. So that's something that we're still really learning. And because we're getting more and more requests, is also the accounting side of it that we've kind of struggled with a little bit. We need to kind of up our accounting resources to manage payment of a lot of commissions generally. And also paying them. At the end of the day, you know, we've use different forms of paying that require additional fees, and that's created some issues. So we're still learning, to be honest, on how best to manage those relationships and keep them strong.
Yeah, that is true, because typically commissions should be paid, or they expected at least, you know, within, you know, 2 to 30 days of the booking, you know, occurring. So Nancy, similar question, you know, what are some of the best strategies you've used to build and maintain strong relationships with advisors and tour operators?
I get a lot of calls from the travel agents when they have a potential booking, and I try to train them so they can sell a private island, because you know, if they haven't been to Scrub, it's really not that easy to explain the arrival, how the private ferry works. So I do offer a lot of support and a lot of customer service for each booking. And on the wholesale side, I have monthly calls with them. I'm always in the queue to do training. I used to do in-office training for their reservation teams, but most of them seem to be remote now. So I find I try to do reservation training twice a year if possible. And I really go into depth on this is what happens when you arrive at the airport. And and then the seasonal promotions, that really works a lot. That's a lot. So I always offer an early booking bonus at the beginning of each quarter and a seasonal booking free night offer. Those really, they move the needle a lot. So it's a lot of constant training and just keeping in touch and seeing each month I have a call to see how we're doing, what our market share is. So I do have a constant communication, and also our big five are connected electronically to us through Synexus. So they do all their bookings online, and we have built in their commission. So it's pretty seamless. Now for the wholesalers that are not on an electronic connection, I issue a standard net rate contract with their discount, and they're rarely in parity because they're not, connected electronically. So if they reach out to me and they say, that the rates they're getting from their contract are much higher than what we're selling at online, I always will do a price match. So I'm in constant communication with them. And, they've been good. As far as the net rate operators, we get very little from them. And the villa operators, we get very little from them. To me, they have so much product that they're offering across the globe. I have found that their reservation people are more like order takers. They're not really, salespeople, but that's just my experience.
Right, because I'm sure Sharon may have a different experience. So Sharon, what are some of the best strategies you've used to build and maintain strong relationships with advisors and tour operators?
I would say on the villa side, it's slightly different, but again, communication I find is the most important piece when dealing with the travel trade. I believe in a very personalized approach, especially as it relates to the villas, because there can easily be that disconnect. Each villa is somewhat different. It's not your standard hotel room. So we have the approach that any travel advisor or tour operator can reach out to us 24/7, 366. And it's worked very well for us. I do have to admit that sometimes I do get that weird call at about 1 a.m. or an email or a WhatsApp. We encourage them to reach us on any level. We remember birthdays. If we have last minute availability, there are certain tour operators that we send a quick note to and say, this information is available. We, as much as we want to be personal, I believe we have a really great website that has instant availability. It's easy to read. And then the travel agents, the tour operators, they make the booking, and we follow through on the process, very personal. We have concierges, so from the time that booking is made, we connect, and we found that the travel advisors, they found that to be very useful to them. So we do get a lot of calls. But again, that personal touch, if it is that they tell you it's their birthday, remember that. If they have they tell you they have a little doggy or a cat, and I have 3 dogs, then we get into that conversation talking about any and everything. And those bonds, especially at our level and where we are in the BVI, in terms of, as Nancy said, there's so much product out there. So we have to find a way where we are uppermost in mind So we have gotten to the point, at least in Virgin Gorda, that with most tour operators, if it is that you're looking for a villa in Virgin Gorda, you know you need to reach out to Virgin Gorda Villa Rentals, but that takes relationship building, and it's work. And as Nancy said, you jump on those calls, you do those webinars over and over, you make the 1 or 2 trips with the BVI Tourist Board when they're doing those luxury showcases or whatever opportunity it is to partner with BVI Tourist Board. I tend to jump on as many of them as I can possibly afford.
Yeah, personal connections are so important and so vital to this industry. And Alex, so with Puerto Rico often works closely with regional consortia and independent agents. So how do these partnerships differ from North America?
So here it's very easy because it's a tiny island. So even the furthermost is like 2 hours away from here. So I can just drive that to their travel agency and talk to them and show the destination. It's not, I could not fathom contacting all travel agents in the US. That's simply just too big for us, no? So we are able to then personally connect much easier because there's a limited amount of travel agents in Puerto Rico. So we are able to get to know them, get to know what kind of clients they're bringing into the BVI, what kind of questions. I agree that in general, travel agents tend to be a bit more reactionary. Like, hey, can you organize something to the BVI, and we want to do a family trip, rather than promoting. In the case of Puerto Rico, it's a lot of them promote either cruises or flights to Europe because that's like a very curious destination, or even further away. Flying 30 minutes away, it doesn't sound as exotic, but at the end of the day, we need to connect with them because they are answering, I guess, Mr. Johnson's question of why. I don't know why all of a sudden they are reaching out to us, but I think that it's that there's such an overwhelming amount of offering of destinations, of places. Like just in the BVI, there's so many properties, there's so many hotels, different marinas, that they need someone to guide them, to narrow it for them. And I think that you can only narrow it to them by building that connection, showcasing, even helping them create those itineraries for their clients. In our case, a lot of them just reaches out every now and then, like, hey, I have this family, they have this budget. Can you help me create something for them, tailor something for them? And being able to become their key information hub for all the travel agencies in Puerto Rico has definitely been very successful for us. There's another thing that we carry out here that we're exploring to see if it's something worthwhile. Continue repeating it. We're on our 3rd edition now, and it's the BVI Luxury Summit. And this is a invite-only meeting that we connect travel agents with our industry partners. And this is like a conversation starter. It's not necessarily the deal maker, but it's a first time. Nancy, for example, has been with us. Virgin Gorda Rentals has been this year. It's an opportunity to do this first connection with these travel agents, and then it's up to the properties and industry partners to continue that relations and continue building it and negotiate trade deals and commissions and keep informed of what's the latest things. As soon as you have that email, you can always reach out like, hey, we have this Puerto Rican offer that you can tell your clients about. And I think that that's kind of the best strategy regarding Puerto Rico, at least.
Okay, so while you're at it, since we're talking about personal connections and these partnerships, of course, they're going to come with challenges, right? So what common obstacles have you encountered when working with the advisors, and how have you addressed them, Alex?
So there's 2 things. A lot of them have not been to the destination, so it's hard for them to sell the destination. Obviously, we cannot organize fam trips, and we cannot ask all our industry partners to contribute into organizing fam trips for each and every single agent, obviously. But I think that would be very helpful to select a few agencies that we see that understand the potential and that are able to, for example, we found one travel agency that's also a wholesaler that creates packages, and we've been able to sign an MOU. We brought them to the BVI. The director fell in love with the BVI. He's been like 3 times this year with his family. Like, he understands the value, and now he's been able to create the first Christmas in July package. He's organizing trips to like executive and luxury clients, and that has been thanks to being able to bring them to destination. But at the same time, tailoring each and every, for those that are more reactionary, being able to tailor, it's hard, and it's harder when, for example, flight connections are having difficulties. That's a big challenge. If missing canceled flights, delayed flights, that's something that they suffer a lot, because then their clients ask them, like, what do I do now? And sometimes there are no options available, and that makes it very hard for travel agents and for us to be able to provide always a solution like 24/7. It's definitely hard to, like, on a Saturday night, be able to, okay, there's like a charter option that you can explore in case you're like the flight got canceled. So being able to help them navigate those kind of particular instances is quite challenging, but at the same time, it proves rewarding to building that relationship with them.
Mm-hmm. And so, Sharon, on your end, again, the personal connections, the partnerships, challenges, of course. So how do you work best in overcoming, well, first of all, you need to share with us what issues you have, and how do you best overcome them in keeping engaged with travel advisors?
But challenges, I tend to use the word opportunities, and I find with the travel trade, it tends, my biggest challenge sometimes, especially on the villa side, is a disconnect between the travel advisor and the client in terms of what type of villa product the client wants. Now we do run into situations where some of the travel advisors, some tour operators in particular, do not want to share their client information with you. So they tend to hold on to everything until the last minute, and we don't have an opportunity to engage. So, I recall one instance where we're waiting for the guest based on the information that the travel advisor gave, and they were actually on another island waiting for a boat, and we eventually got that call unscrambled, and you're having to maintain your relationship with the travel advisor and not necessarily throw them under the bus, but sort out the client at the same time. So I'd say that the common opportunities from the travel agent side is not necessarily knowing the product or not necessarily trusting enough to share what is needed, and as well understanding the limitations in the destination. Yes, we would like to think that we can provide any and everything, but we can't, especially on Virgin Gorda, you can't necessarily run out and find the right type of caviar at the very last minute. You may have to go as far as Puerto Rico. So again, it's understanding the limitations of the destination and the tour operator or travel agent not necessarily knowing their client.
Nancy, you have similar experience at Scrub Island?
Well, I have a comment, and this is what I tell if I'm working with a travel agent or a group. I always tell them we are the experts at connecting A to B, B to C, C to D. And we do this for every booking, and we know how everything connects. We're the expert, and we will walk you through every step of this.
I couldn't agree more. Julian, this one is for you. You know, many of our local stakeholders may be smaller operators or new businesses looking to work with travel advisors and tour operators for the first time. What advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing I would advise them to do is when you're coming up with your pricing strategy, you need to keep that in mind, that if you're going to be working with travel advisors, that you need to factor in the whole commission story. Some of the things I would mention before, communication is key. Clear communication, quick communication. When people are trying to make plans, particularly I think when they're using a travel advisor, they want quick answers. If you're taking 3 days to respond to an email, they're probably going to move on. So we at my business, we aim to respond within hours. Initial contact, if your initial request for a quote, you should have a response within an hour within working hours, and within 12 hours if it comes in, at the middle of the night. So fast, effective communication, clear communication is key. Which we, I wouldn't say I struggle with it, but when you have staff, sometimes they struggle with it. Not just answering the questions, but getting ahead of the questions, and anticipating what's coming next, and delivering at the highest standard. One of the things we do for a number of the brokers, yacht brokers that we deal with who book crude yacht charters, and refer people to us for water taxi businesses, that we make a note on that reservation, just a little flag. This is the agent that created this booking or referred this booking. We treat all of our guests like VIPs, but when we see that, we know we need to make sure that everything works perfectly, especially if it's somebody that continues to send you business and continues to work with you. Those are the ones you don't want to drop the ball on any reservation, but you really don't want to drop on one of those. So those type of things, key communication, be on your game, and factor in the commissions into your pricing.
What
Hey,
about
Julian?
joining tourist board on different events? You just got back from Annapolis, and I know there were some travel advisors there as well as tour operators. Even though it was a consumer event, they are always in attendance to events. So joining tourist board on a event is also a good first step as well. Nancy, you had a comment?
Selfish.
Yeah.
I like to keep you guys to myself.
Sharing is caring.
Hey, Julian, I just wanted to let you know that for any clients that we have that are coming into St. Thomas, we always recommend you guys with full confidence. And we've never had anything but very good feedback. So thank you. You always respond so quickly, and we appreciate that. And you've been a great partner for us. I know that.
That means a lot to me, Nancy. Thank you. We
You're
really
welcome.
enjoy working with you and the entire team at Scrub.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Nancy. And Alex, so what advice would you give for BVI businesses who want to tap into the Puerto Rican advisor network? What suggestions can you give?
So first off, contact us. If you have something, we can we love to brainstorm ideas on how to reach. If you have a particular target that you want to reach, then we might be able to connect you with specific tour operators, travel agencies that might be able to address perfectly what kind of offering you have. But also, obviously, the BVI Luxury Summit that I mentioned before, that's something that, for example, we usually by larger industry partners, but we've invited, for example, Bonita BVI, and they were able to explain their offering that could be something to add on to a travel package that you're working on. Those kind of add-ons are something that travel agents appreciate if they have a clear pricing structure and they understand how much they're going to get from it, because then they have a business case behind it, right? The other thing is in Puerto Rico, we have a couple of newsletters, one that is targeted to BVI fans in general, and we share a newsletter every month or so talking about the news, what's new. If you've opened a new restaurant, then this is a great place to showcase that. But we also have a newsletter specific for travel agents. So if you want to have something, a special offer for just travel agents, you can let us know, and those are more tailored. It's not on a monthly basis. But if we have enough news, then that's something that we can connect to over like 300 contacts that travel agents that operate right now or have operated in the past, and that are already kind of connected with the whole travel agent industry. And that's a great way of connecting and showcasing your product and offering.
Hey,
Okay.
Alex, what are the
Go ahead.
dates for the luxury showcase this year?
So we just did it. We tried to rotate. That's why we haven't reached
Oh, you
out to
did
Scott.
it?
No. It was actually last week. We tried to continually change so that the travel agents don't get the same message every year. So we try to have like up to 8 different industry partners each year. And unfortunately, there's so much luxury in the BVI that we are constantly changing. But I know that you're interested, so next year we'll have you. Don't be sad.
And for any of our smaller or emerging businesses that may happen to be joining us, today, from the North America standpoint of view, in terms of, strengthening your partnerships with travel advisors and tour operators, of course, working with us, the tourist board, whether during our trainings, we oftentimes do sales calls, webinars. We do quite a bit of trade show initiatives. So joining us will help you to connect with travel advisors and tour operators, puts you in front, and to build those personal connections, as our panelists have frequently mentioned throughout this meeting. So we're going to kind of wrap up. So looking ahead, opportunities for growth. Sharon, looking to the future, where do you see the greatest opportunities for BVI tourism through partnerships with travel advisors and tour operators?
I guess looking at the lens, especially from the villa side of things. Ideally, I'd like to work with the tourist board more in terms of targeted sales initiatives and marketing, especially as it relates to to the villa market. We often see a lot about the private islands and the hotel and yachting product, but the villa product, I think, helps to set the BVI apart. I think we can work together more in terms of showcasing that BVI has some of the best villa product in the Caribbean. And once we continue to go out there with the BVI Tourist Board, have some more marketing initiatives that are sort of like in-house marketing that's targeted towards the travel trade that especially sells villas. I think it can be a great win-win for the destination.
I concur. And Alex, Puerto Rico often serves as a hub for Caribbean travel. How can that relationship expand BVI's reach?
It is it is a hub for the Caribbean, and even more thanks to Bud Bunny, unfortunately or fortunately. I mean, it has placed Puerto Rico in the map for a lot of people, and the BVI is half an hour away from that. So indeed, this is a harder task for travel agents that are trying to capitalize on this. But I think overall, there's an opportunity for multi-island traveling. Come to Puerto Rico, wherever you're coming from, because Bunny. But then, hey, to jump across, you've experienced that craziness and music, and that you can go and have the best time of your life in the BVI and relax in the sailing capital of the world, right? There's also a big opportunity because there's, I think, 4 million Puerto Ricans that are living in the US, something or even more. There's an opportunity to target those and they're coming back to see their families. And what if they do just a family trip at 30 minutes away, right? It's just 5 songs away. So I think that there's a big opportunity to tap into Puerto Ricans that are wanting to come back for example, Christmas, and then organize them a family vacation.
All
So
right, wonderful.
It's a perfect 2-center vacation.
Indeed. You mix the best of both worlds.
All right, so you guys have been the best panelists for today. Perla, so we're gonna I think we have a couple more slides. Perla wants to share a little bit more of information, and then we're going to jump right into some questions and have our panelists answer them respectively. Perla, are you back?
Sure, I'm here.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Shonda. And we're going to pop into our key takeaways and next steps. We want to share again that advisors and operators extends BVI reach and reputation. Collaboration and responsiveness build loyalty. BVI Tourist Board is here to help you connect and grow your partnership. So please reach out to us. Together, we elevate the BVI experience. And our next slide, I want you to meet the remainder of our North America team if you have not met them as yet. We have Hazel Penn in our Midwest region and Canada, Safrika O'Neill, the Mid-Atlantic, Shakoya Matthew in our Southeast region, Tasha Vanterpool in our Southwest and West Coast region, and Shonda is our Northeast. And now we're going to go into our Q&A. And again, we want to say thank you for joining us today. And if you have any questions, please don't be shy, just ask them.
And then a special big thank you to our panelists.
Yes.
Alex, Nancy, and Sharon. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Felisa, do we have any questions?
No questions at the moment.
Wow, we are
we
so
can wait a
thorough
minute.
today.
But tell her you don't. Oh, but there is a hand up from Mrs. Fletcher. If you can go ahead and put your question in the in the chat. I have a question. There is a question here from Miss Hazel Penn. Is a shared partnership with small properties in a tour operator program? Is that possible? I guess she's saying, is there a shared partnership with small properties in a tour operator program?
I think that there can be what we see, or at least what I see tends to be the challenge with small properties is that the tour operators tend to have a hefty commission, anywhere between 15 to 25% on at least on the villa side. I don't know if that helps to answer the question, but what in this business, the travel agents and tour operators, it's all about pay the commission. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. I think good answer. Good day. Great presentation by all. This is by Mrs. Shireen Flax Charles. What's being done to promote more Caribbean resident tourists outside of Puerto Rico? Lots of high-end residents in these islands that don't have a clue where we are. Are we exploring agents, operators in the Caribbean? That would be for maybe our team, or maybe Shonda or Paula.
Perla?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Can everybody hear me? Yes, we are tapping into those markets. And we have our local regional manager, and she is looking into that. So we are aware. And I think we have our social media site that's up that says promotes that also get to the Caribbean. So that has been one of the first things that we have been doing, but I know to do in person or virtual, we do have our regional manager who will be looking into all of that. So that's on our mind.
Mrs. George. And then Hazel followed up to the answer given by Ms. Sharon. She said, how can they become a part of the tour operator program? What are the benefits?
I guess that can be twofold if I can address it. One, it depends on what type of business is wanting to become a part of the tour operator program. Is it only accommodations, or is it like, for example, Julian's business, whether it's boating or some sort of an activity, car rentals? What I've essentially done is I've targeted certain tour operators in terms of seeing if they would add us to their portfolio. A lot of them tend to have certain requirements in terms of being added to the portfolio. You have to be committed to them inspecting your properties, certain deposit requirements, certain insurances. So I think that the tourist board can act as a guide in terms of if it is that a client, a business in the BVI wants that that type of business from a tour operator to be guided. But I would say that it can be a very arduous process, and you have to
It
be
is. Yeah.
committed to them. For example, if I have construction going on the property at all, I have to tell them construction. I have to tell them timelines. I have to tell them, there's even one that wants to know how far away the construction is. So, and that's just one piece of it.
And that goes double for the European operators.
Yes, the European operators are even,
Yeah,
you,
if you're painting 2 tiles, you need
yes,
to let them know 6 months in advance how many
yes,
hours
you,
it'll be painting. Yeah, they have very stringent rules. And
yeah,
Yep.
I just want to mention the onboarding process is very tedious, as Sharon
yes.
just mentioned.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. There's another question here by Mr. Keith Dawson. He said, can you elaborate on pricing strategies in relation to ensuring your published rates take the commissions into account?
Well, I can just say for the tour operators that we do get business from, they are connected electronically. So their commission is structured into the rates that they will have access to. And as Sharon mentioned, a lot of the big tour operators, they take a 25% commission because they have to pay the travel agent their 10%, and then
Yes.
they work off their 15% commission.
I would say, and I agree with Nancy wholeheartedly. While I absolutely love tour operators and travel advisors, we've begun to push back a little bit in terms of that high commission rate. We've had some tour operators approach us wanting the portfolio or certain villas in the portfolio, and they've said, oh, it's 25%. And I said, look, I'm willing to give you 25% if you bring me production. I will start you at 15%. And if it is, you can give me that production of at least 30 room nights a year in a villa, then we'll talk about it. Some have actually accepted the 15%, and others have gone the other way. But I'm, a little bullheaded in terms of why should I pay you 25% and you're going to give me one booking a year?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Well, it's now 12:59, and I think we had just one question, and I think we'll just do the one question and we will call it the end of the webinar for now. Hazel asks, do you recommend having a travel agent program to track their bookings to build that relationship?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think it's very valuable to know who's booking your property, especially if it's a travel agent who's giving you multiple bookings. Absolutely.
I agree wholeheartedly there. It's important to do the tracking, and that helps you as well in terms of reaching back out to the travel trade by sending a mailer out or just reaching out. So I do agree that it's important to track where your bookings are coming from.
Yeah, and also to treat them. If it's all about personal connections, those that are selling the most, then you can do a personalized treat, a small present, something that makes them have you on top of be the top of mind, and that will go a long way. At least in the Puerto
And
Rican market, just a small promo item makes a difference.
I had a travel agent recently that was giving me the third booking, and it was a honeymoon couple, and we went all out for this couple. I sent a beautiful amenity from the travel agent, and we did rose petals on the bed to, we really went all out, and she so appreciated it, and that was, how we thanked her for her business, and I know she'll be a great partner in the future.
So nice.
That is wonderful, Nancy. And I'm just going to come in here and just tell everybody once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today. Huge thank you to Pearl and Shonda for keeping us informed and inspired, and to our brilliant panelists, Alex, Sharon, Nancy, and Julian, for bringing that real world on the ground perspective. Of course, we really appreciate you all taking the time out today out of your busy schedule. And before you go off, run into your next call or lunch break, don't forget we're back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time for our next Market Connect. Tomorrow we'll be jetting off to France, where we'll be joined by our fabulous partners, Mariska Treble and Isabel Guilquin from Avia Reps. They'll be sharing what's new and exciting in the French market tomorrow. So we'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place, same good vibes. And until then, thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
guys.
you,
Bye. Have a
Have
good
an
day.
amazing
Rest
day.
of the day.
Bye-bye.